Hi y'all, hi guys. Bria here for another live stream. And if you can see by the title, I'm going to be talking about an interesting topic this time. I was sitting thinking like, wow, for all my, nomad life people and all my people who want to move abroad, a lot of people are still in that stage of being like stuck into like a rental agreement lease. So I wanted to talk about that today. But before I get started, I did want to say thank y'all for all the people who join my live streams. This is something I'm trying to get into a little bit more with you guys. So I appreciate anyone who shows up and just chats with me. And also for those of you who are new to my channel, I currently live in Bangkok, Thailand. So if you're in the States and it's nighttime right now, it is the opposite for us. It is 9:30 a.m. here. So thank you for joining me. And I guess we'll just jump into the topic. But before, let me see who's here. We got Sylvia going. Hey, Sylvia. Thanks for being here. Hi, Raymond Tittle. And the Ultimate Learning Experience. What's up? Lily says, hey. Thank y'all for joining me on today's live stream. So let's get into the topic. Let's talk about how to break your lease, because I'm assuming that's why you clicked on this live stream today. In order to give some background information, again, for those of you guys who've been subscribed to my channel, you kind of may know my journey. I started off living a regular 9-to-5 type of traditional lifestyle in America. I ended up breaking my lease, living in my car, quitting my 9-to-5 job, and where I am now, moving to Thailand. So I want to give you guys some background information about some of like the first steps that I took to get to where I am, because when I first started, I really talked a lot about minimalism and how you have to like get rid of a lot of unnecessary stuff and get rid of a lot of unnecessary payments or subscriptions, whatever, pay down whatever debt you can. But I want to talk about the time period where I actually had to break the lease to my nice 2-bedroom apartment in Midtown Atlanta. And that was honestly, I would say, the first really big step to committing to an alternative lifestyle or nomad lifestyle, that I was able to stack enough money so I could move abroad and live here. So yeah, we're gonna hop into story time. What's up, Shelly M? Really Not Really Pandora, thank you. Candace Callens, hey, what's up? Larry Nelson, love to you as well. So let me tell you guys what happened. So pretty much right after COVID hit is when I decided that I was going to lose my damn mind, basically. So when I was like at that point, I was living in a 3-bedroom apartment in Sandy Springs, Roswell, Georgia area, right along the river. Like, I love being along the water. I got a really good price for the apartment, but the issue with it was that it was very old. It had a lot of like maintenance issues. It would leak when it rained, and the street would flood and the river would flood. So it was an amazing location, but I had to deal with a lot of things. And originally I kind of got that location because I thought that I would be having roommates. And when COVID hit, it turned out that like everybody was kind of just fending for themselves. It wasn't the best time, and I ended up with this 3-bedroom apartment, a dog, a cat, a snake, and a white boyfriend. It was a crazy time period for me. But eventually I decided, okay, I need to downgrade. So I moved into a 2-bedroom in Dunwoody. So it wasn't right along the river, but it was still in kind of the area that I knew. And I really enjoyed living there, other than the fact that it was infested. When I toured the unit, everything was clean and looked nice. But when I moved in, the problems started to come, and I started to see like, wow, this place has a lot of bugs. And I'm not really used to that because, like, I mean, I've been around it. Like, I grew up being near it, but it's not something, me personally, that I'm used to, because I tend to clean like every day my apartment. So it was just overwhelming. And from there, once that lease ended, I was like, you know what? I'm not doing it. I'm going to do car life. So I actually started car life after that lease. That kind of just went to hell. It was a horrible place to live, even though it seemed great. And I did car life for about a year, or just under a year. And then, I could be lying, it may have been like half a year. But I was doing car life. And then I ended up having a family emergency happen, whereas I felt like, okay, I need to get another lease because I need to be in a stable situation in order to help my family member. So this is where we get into like, okay, I had a 2-bedroom nice apartment in Midtown Atlanta, quite expensive. So when I was there, I was paying like, I think it was like $1,400 for rent, but then when you added my electricity, my water, my Wi-Fi, my grocery bills, I was paying at the bare minimum $2,000 a month to live there, but realistically it was over that. If I even wanted to get my nails done, or if I wanted to go grab a drink with a friend, or if I wanted to go see a movie or something like that, I don't even go to the movies, but anything extra was extra. Like the lowest I could get my bills were for my living situation was around $2,000 a month at that time period. So I pretty much decided like this just isn't gonna work. I was like, I need to save money, I need to stack money, I need to prepare to do something else. And like just being here, I'm just watching all my money go out the door. It's like living paycheck to paycheck, like they say. So that's when I decided that I was gonna break my lease. But a lot of people, like when you hear break your lease, you think of like something really bad, like, or you're doing something wrong. But I want to tell you guys that there is a right way that you can go about breaking your lease where you don't have to have any negative marks on your rental history. If you ever decide to rent again, you can. And you don't have to stick out that contract term that for a lot of us is like a year, like 12-month contract. So that's what I want to talk about in this video. Just wanted to give you guys a little bit of background of how we got to this point, but I want to explain to you guys how I went about breaking my 12-month lease in Midtown Atlanta in order for me to begin car life, nomad life, whereas I was able to stack all that money that I was spending on renting all those bills, that $2,000 at least I mentioned, I was able to stack that every month on top of other methods that I was using to save, which allowed me to get to the point where now I can live abroad. So that's what we're going to be talking about. Let me check the comments. Candace Callan says, I literally just finished selling everything. Now I'm trying to turn the rest of this stuff into 6 suitcases. 6 suitcases? Oh my goodness. But no, I feel you, because I feel like depending on what you're bringing, like is it just clothes and shoes and like personal belongings, or is it like household items? Because when you're moving abroad, some people actually bring a lot of stuff with them. And some people just like bring the bare minimum and then buy everything once they get here, because a lot of things here can be quite cheaper. But yeah, I would love to know that. I'm like, 6 suitcases? You're gonna have some checking fees, girl. You said waiting on your son's passport and then we're on the way. Perfect. I think it's such a great new lifestyle to experience that even if you find out that it's not what you want to do like long term, it's going to be something you would never regret and an experience that you've had. Lily says, oh my gosh, same. I broke my lease to finally get ready to leave the States. Yes, a lot of people are in my comment section sometimes and they're like, oh, I'd love to do what you're doing, but I'm stuck in a lease or I'm stuck in a car note or something like that. And car note, that's a whole nother situation. But leases, you can break your lease. And you can do it in a way that doesn't affect you negatively. What's up, Cigarello Slim? Thanks for joining us. So basically, I'll tell you guys what I did. Pretty much the rental agreement that I had, they were like, if you want to leave before your 12 months is over, and mind you, I was only probably like, I don't even think I was 6 months in. I think I was probably 4 or 5 months in. And I was like, yeah, I don't want to stay here anymore. And they're like, okay, well, if you want to do that, you're going to have to pay us 1 month's worth of rent. I wish that I could make this more difficult, but I can't. It was literally that simple. They were like, if you want to leave, you're going to have to pay us 1 month's worth of rent and leave. So it doesn't mean you pay them a month of rent and you stay there for that month. No, you pay them a month of rent so that you can get out and get out of the contract. That's the way it was for me. It might be different for whomever you're leasing with. But for me, they were like, okay, you want to leave this month at the end of the month? Okay, well, pay us a whole nother month and we'll null and void the contract and you can go about your business. We'll just make sure you didn't destroy anything in the unit, do a walkthrough, make sure all your bills are paid up, whatever. And they were like, you can go. And the amount of time that I spent like stressing, worried, concerned, like, oh my God, I signed this contract, like, how am I going to get out of it? I'm stuck for the next year paying these high bills when really I just want to save so I can do something else. Like, it was very stressful. But when I really just talked to them, they were like, there are methods that they have to get people out of the contract, because most people, when they want to leave a contract, they'll just leave. And that's what looks bad on your record. It's like, okay, well, if you just up and leave and like, you know what, F this. I know I said I signed a contract, but F y'all, I'm leaving. I'm not paying for nothing else. Then they might put a derogatory mark on your rental history that can affect you in the future if you want to, rent in that area or rent in general. So I wanted to do it in a way that there was no beef. I'm like, we good? You good? I'm good. I can go. They were like, yeah, you can go. And like, it was quite a simple process, honestly. Once they just reviewed the unit and made sure I didn't destroy anything, and they realized the reason that I wanted to go was legit. I wasn't trying to leave because I just don't want to pay my rent. They're like, well, she has other things coming up that she wants to do. As long as she pays us this money, we'll X the contract. So that's basically what happened to me in order for me to start living car life full time. And once I started living car life full time, I was able to save all that money, that good chunk of money that I was giving them every month, and be able to make plans for future things, which involved international travel. So I know a lot of my car life people here with me from the beginning, they're probably like, how did she end up all the way in Bangkok? But there was plans in order to get this going, and one of the first plans was A, to end the lease, B, to start living car life, C, to be able to quit my job because I saved enough money, D, to start traveling. What's up, Glenn Bully? Thanks for joining us. Candace Callan says, it's me and my son. Only 2 are large, LOL. I did this once before. I just left the leasing office. No, I wanted to move, and they started advertising a unit I was renting and was able to move out and have them rent to the next people. Yes, so that's the thing. They were like, if you give us enough time and you give them a month's worth of rent, they can find someone else to rent the unit. I think the problem is when you just up and leave a unit without telling them, or without, removing your property and stuff, like they incur other fees in which they could have easily rented that out and continued to make their money and it not been an issue. So it's just how you go about it. You said, I told my bank I wanted to end my contract, and they sold my car and only had to pay fees for them selling it. My score just went up 60 points last month. That's good. That's good you were able to sell your car. My car's paid off, and I kept it with the family. I considered selling it, but I just didn't feel like what they were willing to pay, like the blue book value of my car, was worth me selling it for the value it brings to my family. So we just kept it in the family, but I still got my car that is convertible for, stealth camping. I still have my tiny home that's back in the States. I minimized everything, so I don't have much stuff. And then, of course, I have my condo here in Bangkok. So I would not have been able to do any of that, honestly, if I didn't break that lease. Because at one point, I was just like studying my finances, looking at my bills, looking at my savings. And I was like, why can't I get ahead? Like, I don't understand what I'm doing wrong. And I think a lot of people want to cut off those like minimal expenses, like, oh, I have this subscription, or I have this $5 thing I'm paying over here, or this $10 here. Like, it adds up. It does add up. But let's be realistic. Like, even if I cancel all the subscriptions I have, it would never add up to the amount of money if I cancel my rent. And so when like that light bulb went off, when I was like, if you just don't pay rent, you could save that money you were paying for rent, and you can go travel and like create a different lifestyle for yourself. Because for me, I love to travel. That's my passion. But more than anything, it was about creating a different lifestyle for myself. I didn't really enjoy the lifestyle I had in America, having to like overwork myself in order to have something of nice quality and just to be one-upped. As soon as I have something I think is decent, it's the next thing there that's like, oh, you need to have this. Like, even with having my iPhone, I'm like, I done had so many iPhones, and every 2 years, every year or so, it's like, I gotta get another one. This one's not working. Like, it just got to a point where I wanted to just live a different quality of lifestyle without having to work so hard for it. Like, for me, it's a what today? Wednesday. It's a Wednesday morning for me. And, I'll work on my computer. I do a lot of online stuff, but my life is very much so slower because my bills are like way cheaper. So it's not that I don't have to make money or don't have to figure out ways to hustle, whatever. It's just that it's not as expensive, so it's not as much of a stress. And a lot of times people can see this lifestyle and be like, oh, that's so cool, like she's living doing that, but like you don't see what it took to like get here, you know. So I want to give more information to people about what it took to get here. And one of the main things, if not the main thing, was I had to break my lease. I had to stack that money that I was paying every month to my leasing agent, and I had to utilize that money to create new plans for the lifestyle I wanted to live and invest in myself. Let's see. Spicy Noodle says, I'm new to your channel. How do you make a living? So I'm a content creator. I am monetized on YouTube. I also have a TEFL degree and I've taught in Thailand, so I can utilize those skills to get gigs as well. And when I was back in the US, I was a data analyst for a long time. I've been looking into seeing if I can find some type of analytical job here, but it's a little different when you're not physically in the States. I've also worked corporate for 10 years, so I had a lot of savings from that. So, you know, I'm 30 years old. I've, you know, worked since I was 15. I've been able to support myself thus far, but I definitely have bigger plans for myself and ways that I want to elevate and make money and continue to support myself in the lifestyle that I live. But realistically, what I'm doing is living within my means. Like, it's cheaper for me to live here. In America, it was a little bit more expensive than I wanted to pay. So that's why I'm here. Hi, Saran's Piano Waves. Eris says, hi, what time is it there? It is 9:46 a.m. here. So it is the morning time. This is when I like to go live because I know a lot of my subscribers are in the States or in the West. So likely it is nighttime for you guys. There's no way I'm about to be up at 9:46 making a live. Like maybe one day, but typically I will go to bed. So I like to do it in the morning for me, and then I know it's nighttime for you guys. But yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about. Like, I don't know how many people really are serious about like moving abroad, or if it's just like, oh, it seems interesting. But I do see a lot of comments that are like, oh, well, I can't do that because I have a lease. So I wanted to like talk about that for sure. I don't know if you guys see, but this is my plant. I'm like playing with my plant. But yeah, I'm like, I just want to give that information for people who are very interested and serious about it. I'm like, if it's something you really want to do, it may not be as complicated as you think. It's just a lot of steps that you have to take to make it happen. One being minimalizing all of your belongings to just what you need for travel. Imagine you having to lug everything you have on your back. You probably would be buried under stuff, you know, like you probably wouldn't be able to move. So you got to get yourself to a point where you can actually manage all of your belongings. You got to get yourself to a point where you have some type of savings to fall back on. It is what it is. If you want to travel to a random country and some emergency happens, you need to have some type of money to fall back on, whether that be a credit card or whether that be just actual savings that you have, debit. There's a lot that goes into it. And then the next thing I would say would be, you know, minimizing your expenses. So the best way you could do that is ending a rental agreement if you have one. There's some people who moved in with family. So for example, when I was doing car life, I was on the road for a bit and it'd be on and off. But oftentimes I would go and just park at my family's house. And then I refused to stay inside because I was like, no, if I stay inside, you guys are gonna want to start charging me rent. And I don't want to pay rent. I'm stacking all my rent money. So my family was nice enough to be like, all right, well, do whatever you want to do. Like, whatever. Like, you can be here, but we're not going to charge you rent because you're not really living inside. You're living outside. You're living in your car. That's a choice that I made, you know? So I had some people say to me like, oh, you're not really living in your car because you have people that support you. And for me, my response is like, well, having somebody to support me doesn't really necessarily mean that I'm not living in my car and saving money. You know, I think two and two can exist at the same time. And that's the choice that I made. And a lot of other people are in situations where they can make similar choices, whether it be a friend's house, a close associate, and somebody that you pay rental parking fees. Like, that's a thing too. Like, I know people who have schoolies, like school buses or vans that they decked out so that they can live in and save money, and they pay parking fees to people who own private properties to be able to post up on their property and just live out of their space while they're stacking their money. So there's very creative and different ways that you can go about starting alternative living and nomad life. And if you are somebody who does want to move abroad, I would say just stack that money, honey. Like, that's really all it is. You could use that lifestyle to stack the money to move abroad. And if you just want to be nomad and domestic nomad and be in the States and travel around the States, you could do that too. You could literally work and stack your money and stay in the car until you feel like you want to quit, and then go on a road trip and just go around and not have to work for a while. I think it's really important to balance work and play. And I feel like for me, I in the last year, I have not worked nearly as hard as I have in the past year since I was like 15 years old and I'm 30. You know, like in the past year, like I work because I need to work. I'm not just like every day, give me that overtime. I'll take anything. I got so many bills. Like, I cannot live like that. I feel like the amount of stress and pressure it puts on me, like I'm not going to last that long. So that was a choice I had to make for myself and for my own mental health and personal health to be able to live here long. You know, I don't have no kids. I'm not married. Like, I'm out here traveling the world. Like, I'm only 30 years old. Like, there's no reason why I should have this much stress on top of myself to perform and make money, and not even just make money, make more than you. You know, I'm not with the competing. Like, I'm a very down to earth, low key girl. Like, I just want my happiness, my lifestyle, like what brings me peace. And I found that here in Thailand. And so I don't want to just skip to like, hey, oh, I live in Thailand. You know, like I kind of want to give the background information as to what I had to do and go through to get here, because everyone's journey is different, but you can learn from other people, utilize those skills to help you on your path. So you could be someone who's like, you know what, I want to move to Mexico. And you could take a similar path. You could, in your rental agreement, you could stack some money. You could live nomadically for a little bit, and before you know it, you're crossing the border. So that's the information I'm trying to give out to you guys today. Let me see. Spicy Noodle says, cool, thanks for answering. Was just curious. I admire your bravery moving to Thailand. Thank you so much. And to be honest, like the first time I came to Thailand was only for 6 months because I was really scared. I was like, what if you move here and you don't like it and you want to go back home? So I didn't fully commit to it. And I went back home, and then I kind of got depressed because I was like, you were doing what you wanted to do. You were too scared, and you went back home just to be reminded that like, oh yeah, I didn't really like it that much here. So now I'm back in Thailand. I've been back since October of 2024. And I signed a 12-month lease, and I don't intend on breaking it. So I'm here, and I'm dedicated to it. But yeah, it takes a lot of courage, and I just want to see more people doing it. And honestly, from last year, October of 2023 to October of 2024, which I came to Thailand each of those times, it's been a blast of like tourists and expats and people moving here. Like, even on YouTube, you see more content of people being like, I left America, moved to Thailand. Like, and again, I always say it's not just Thailand. Like, this world is huge. Like, there's so many beautiful, amazing other countries with lifestyles that you would really align with. If you do a little research, you know, give yourself the time to really like work with yourself, do some meditation, be like, what type of lifestyle aligns with me? And then you can identify these countries and maybe go visit them. So I feel like what I did was visit here, explored here, worked here, and fell in love with it. I went home and was like, you know what? I love home, but I like my lifestyle better there. And so now I'm back here, and I'm going to stay here for a while. But I really encourage other people, no matter where it is, if it ain't Thailand, it could be the next state over. You could be in New York and be like, you know what? I really want to live in Connecticut. Like, whatever, you know, like, just do what feels right to you. Follow your own journey, and be realistic with yourself about your finances. If what you're spending on your housing is mad expensive, if you could humble yourself a little bit to save some money, what would be the problem? Even if it was just for 6 months, even if it was just for a year. Like, I've met girls who are absolutely gorgeous living in their cars. Not because they're just homeless and they don't have any money, they can't get a job. No, because they literally have a dream. Like, they're literally like, I'm stacking this money so that I could get here, or so I can invest in my education, you know, like whatever it is, or something for their kids. You never know. But it's not always that you see people in this lifestyle. It's just because they're just down and out. Some people have a plan. And a lot of y'all out here, especially in 2025, need to make a plan. You can't just be sitting around waiting like one day I'm going to be blessed. One day I'm going to be doing the same shit I've been doing every day, and some's just going to drop in my lap and I'm going to be blessed. Sometimes I think humiliation rituals are real. And I hate to say that because that phrase or that context is kind of bad, but let's really think about it. Like, I had to be the black homeless girl in Atlanta living out her car in order for me to be this black beautiful woman living in Bangkok, living her best life. You get what I'm saying? So I'm like, you might have to take an L. Like, you might have to deal with the fact that people may look down on you. People may not understand what you're doing. Your family may not accept you. The person that you like may start looking at you different. I went through all of that, you know, like, but in my head, I could see like a pathway. I was like, I see where I want to be. And God's saying, like, you need to put this work in, because you're not just going to get there. I'm not just going to drop it in your lap. Like, you need to do something. I'll meet you halfway at the least, you know? So I feel like you got to put that work in. And a lot of people, unfortunately, I don't think are strong enough to take that type of criticism. Because I went through it with my family. And mind you, I'm not the closest with my biological family, but even they were just like, are you losing your damn mind? I'm like, it's good to know you care, you know? Like, what? I'm like, when I was struggling, paying rent, paying a car note, working a freaking overtime dead-end job, like getting treated like trash, no one cared. Everybody was like, you doing good, girl, keep going. You gotta do it for yourself, y'all. I guess that's the point I'm trying to make. You gotta do it for yourself, and you gotta be willing to know that it may not look right to everybody else. But if you can see a clear path, like, do it for you. If it makes sense to you, do it for you. Because the end result is so much more like, I don't know. Sometimes I just wake up here and I'll be like, how did we get here? And then I'll literally look back and be like, damn, you done been through a lot. Like, you done been through the trenches, but it's so worth it. I'm very much so content with the lifestyle that I'm living now, and I feel even more content to talk to you guys, because I think I didn't do live streams as much before, because I was like, who am I to tell anybody about something I'm trying to still figure out? Like, I'm still trying to figure this out. But now that I feel like I figured it out a little bit, like I'm pretty much at a good place, I feel like I can share that information and be like, y'all, this is what I went through, and it was hard, it wasn't easy, but after a while, like, I came out on the other side. So if you just feel stuck somewhere, like, what am I going to do? You're going to have to make a decision that's going to affect you, everyone around you, and how they think about you. And you have to be okay with that. You have to choose yourself. Lily says it's 9 to 10 p.m. in my area. Yep, not far off. Candace Collins says, I put a million obstacles in my own way, and a lease and car have been on the list. I'm shocking myself how I'm throwing things away with ease and putting things in place. This has been so smooth. Yeah, the minimalist, like, journey is wild. Like, once I started getting rid of things that I didn't need, and once I started actually, like, mentally, physically being able to account for the things that I have, my mind just, like, blossomed. It's almost like you have a clogged drain. I don't know if this is a good metaphor, but it was like my mind felt clogged. Like, nothing, no ideas and good things were running through. But when I started getting rid of, like, gook and getting rid of shit, it was like ideas were just, like, flowing through my mind about how I can make it an actual reality. I personally believe in manifestation. I don't know if all you guys do, but I'm very big on, like, okay, well, if there's something that you want in life, you can definitely attain it, but you have to put the work in, and you have to literally feed into it. And part of it is your mind, your thoughts, like how you think. If your mind is focused on, like, I just need what I need, I want to be here, this is how I want to live, this is how I want to work, this is what I want to do, like, you're going to attract that to your life. I don't know, y'all. I don't want to go too deep in those areas. I'm nobody's guru, but I hear what you're saying. Like, it's so weird how you feel yourself changing, like, drastically when you start to take on those actions. Eris says it's 6 a.m. in your area. Where are you? Or you must be on the West Coast or something. Chad Ramsey, Afro-Funkadelic Futuristic Man. I love that name. Says, yeah, Thailand seems like it's very good. Thailand's pretty awesome. Every country has its problems. You know, nowhere is perfect, but it works for me. I just encourage other... There is some other country or some other place that would like align more with like the type of life you want to live. That facade of like America is the best. It's like kind of over with, y'all. Like, there's definitely better places you could live. Lily says, I've been wanting to leave the States since I was in high school, and I'm finally moving to Thailand in 4 days. I'm scared but excited. Oh, I'm so happy for you. Make sure you hit me up when you get here. We can go have lunch or something. I dress cuter than this when I go out. Like, this is just my home fit. Hit me up. I'm always open to meeting new people when they come here, as long as you're not on some weird stuff. I've had a few guys on some weird stuff, but girlies, like, we'll go and have lunch or something. Like, I'll show you a few places. Like, we can have a good time. We help each other with our community. I'm part of Tribe of Nomads. Help each other find condos and different places to hang out and different events that we can come together, you know. So, yeah, I'm excited. Chad Ramsey, you said it's good to see me. Thank you. It's good to have you here with me. Ari said, you are very active, girl. I believe so. I'm very booked and busy, baby. Candace Callan says, Lily, I'm excited for you. I am too. I think it's so amazing. I want more girlies to come out here to Thailand. Don't be scared. Like, there's a community out here that will support you. You know, like, honestly, I found it easier to make friends, especially girlfriends here in Thailand than I have back in America. I feel like it was way more competitive. It's like, I'm very much so a girl's girl. I'm like, if you're doing well, I'm like, woo, root you on, like, yeah, support you. But I found myself in a lot of situations where it was like fake support, and it's like you're slick trying to compete with me, and like I don't really like those type of vibes, but I haven't really got that much so here in Thailand. So girls, come out, let's have a girls night. Like, we do events, we can go to different activities during the day. Like, let's just support each other in 2025. Everybody can be their best self. I think if more people are happy and fulfilled with themselves and at peace, it just makes the world a better place. That's part of Buddhist teachings, which I've also been into lately. Just wishing what you wish for yourself to other people. I want myself to be at peace, happy, loved, well-fed, healthy. I wish that to all my folks out there, especially my girls who want to travel to Thailand. Like, you can do it. It's not as hard as you think. The hardest part is flying your ass over here. It's a long flight, and you might get a little frustrated because it's just long. It's easy. But once you get here and you get in your place, you're going to feel so good. Let me see. AI King says, hi, Bria. I'm from Cleveland, Ohio. Hi, Cleveland. Always happy to have my hometown in here. I'm just a young girl from Cleveland. Like, for real. Like, I'm not better than anybody. I love that I'm from Cleveland, though. Let me see. Candace Collins says, that shock and discouragement will show you how small-minded some people are. I immediately know to cut it short. Yeah, you have to be strong to do that, too. Because think about someone who's, like, so connected with their family, so, you know, dependent on, like, the concept of what other people think about them. Is really hard for them. I've been the type of girl all my life where I've just been like, I don't care. Like, I don't give a F. Sometimes that's made me come off like kind of mean or cold, and I can understand that, but to a certain extent it's like a protective thing for me, because I know how hard this world can be. Like, I do believe in yin and yang. As much beautiful as this world can be, you see some of the nastiest, most negative stuff ever. So a lot of times, like, you have to be able to, like, differentiate between, like, okay, this person, we're not vibrating on the same frequency, so I can't really take your advice. I'm not going to take advice from somebody who is not doing anything near what I want to be doing. I try to surround myself with people who are doing things that I want to be doing, and if I can't surround myself with them, I try to watch content of people like this, you know? I'll watch content of people who are traveling to places that I want to go one day, or things like that. So you'll have people who will discourage you, but it's really just coming from a place of discouragement of their own. They don't really believe that they can do it. So it wouldn't make sense for them to tell you that you can, but then because that would be completely going against what they've told themselves, you know? And I've had to come to terms with that because I've had to be like, I'm not angry with you for not believing in me. I'm angry with myself for not believing in me and thinking what you think about me is more important. We need I need to do poetry or something. But for real, I be feeling like that. I be like, I'm not gonna let what somebody projects on me matters. It only matters what I think of myself. What's up, Aloe? Thanks for joining. Lily says, yes, my family thinks I'm crazy, but I'm loving who I'm becoming every day. Exactly, like, you came into this world alone, unless you had like a twin or something like that. But most of us came into this world alone, and you're probably gonna die alone. So I think people need to recognize that. Impermanence, like, we do not have all day, honey. We don't have all day for you to check with all 840 people that you've met to see what they think about what you're doing with your life. Because I guarantee you, when you pass, all them people that you was checking with, they're not gonna be there. A fraction of them will be. So I'm like, you gotta live your life to the fullest, be you to the fullest, and let people think you crazy. Because the same people who think you crazy, I promise you, when you're living the life that you want and you're doing just what you said, those are gonna be the people who slide into your messages like, hey, I see you, I'm proud of you. I've had it myself. Like, I've been in my most worst down situations and didn't have a loved one reach out and be like, hey, you all right? How's it going? But I've been in like my best situations, and I'm on a ferry boat, my hair's blowing in the wind, I'm having a great time, and all of a sudden I get a message that's like, hey, always had love for you, wishing you the best, you know? You got a lot of observers. You have to be diligent enough to know like what people in your life really, really, really have your best interest and want to see you win. What people are just observing. They just want to see. They're nosy. We're all nosy. We want to see what other people are doing, you know? And then what people actually have malintentions for you. I'd love to think that nobody has malintentions for me. I'd love to think that I don't have enemies like that, but you're definitely going to have people that don't really care to see you win and will be more entertained with seeing you fall. So you have to be your number one person and be like, I don't really care what nobody else says or thinks about me. It's what I think about what I'm doing. If I feel like I'm on the right track, if I feel like I'm aligned with what God's purpose is for me, there's not really much else anybody could say. Yeah, hit me up, Lily. Chat, why you retracting messages? Be on your best behavior so you don't have to do that. Alo says, wait, are you in Thailand? That's so cool. Yes, I live in Bangkok, Thailand. Chad says, yeah, living in the OKC is pretty loud. OKC is Oklahoma. Is it Oklahoma? I don't know. Hopefully. I don't know if I'm wrong. The ultimate learning experience. I'm waiting for more airlines to allow pets to travel within the cabin. I have a huge chow chow and a kitty. I would never allow them to travel as cargoes underneath a plane. I love my pets too much. The ultimate learning experience, I 100% understand where you're coming from. Like, I have one pet. I've had many others, but right now I just have a cat, my Siamese cat, Toffee, and she's like 12 years old at this point. Like, she's grown. So people have asked me, like, why you didn't bring her to Thailand? And I'm like, number one, I'm not locking her under in cargo. Number two, I'm not shoving her under my seat for 10 plus hours. Like, I just couldn't do it to her. So thank God I have family who was willing to take care of her. But it was more of a sacrifice for me. I do know some people here in Thailand who have brought their pets. I'm just not mentally prepared for that. Like, my cat is like my baby. So I'm like, I almost feel like she's safer at home with family than with me. Like, so that's just the decision I made. But I completely understand, especially with a dog. Like, and you said a huge chow chow. I was going to say, are they big? I'm pretty sure they're big. Yeah. Chad Ramsey, Afro-Funkadelic Futuristic Man, says, yeah, you're right about competitive. Everybody always wants to compete against each other, especially with families. One thing that I've noticed being out here in the East is that family values are way more important. Like, you see more families sticking together, living in the same household, supporting each other, sharing vehicles, stuff like that out here. Whereas in the West, I noticed it was very big on, like, you need to get out there, you need to be a man or a woman, you need to, like, fend for yourself. Like, I remember working since I was 14, trying to stack money so I could pay for tampons and deodorant, because my mom was like, if you're going to work, you need to learn how to be a grown woman. That was disturbing for me. I also remember working 3-4 jobs in my early 20s just to pay for my apartment and my car, living on my own, and literally being like, this can't be life. This can't be how life is supposed to be. It's just so individualistic, you know? And then you have the issue of relationships, whereas if you get in a relationship, one person is supposed to pay a certain amount, or how are we supposed to split? Like, it was just too much. So I always just focused on taking care of myself, doing whatever I had to do to take care of myself. But yeah, the competitive nature is hard. It's very hard to make genuine friendships and relationships when people look at you as somebody in their way of moving up or being more successful. When I believe in abundance, I don't really think like that. I don't think the next person being successful is in my way of being successful. I think of it more like it's just more of a reality that abundance is there. You know, like, all of us can be successful, but it depends on who puts the work in. You might look at the next person and be like, oh, why does this person have more than me? And I'm like, well, what did you do? Were you up the sleepless nights that person was up? Were you working? Like, were you, and you know, those are the things that really matter. I'm like focusing in on yourself and really realizing, like, how am I not performing to my ultimate potential, you know, and what could I be doing so that I can have my own blessings? Because all of our journeys are different. You can look at someone and be like, wow, what they have is so awesome, but what you have is going to be different. It's not going to be exactly the same. Even if it's similar, it's not even going to be exactly the same. So competitive natures, like, don't really work for me. Like, that's a very corporate mentality of like, I want to move up in a corporation or a company, I have to beat out the next person. I'm like, I don't have to beat you out. I just have to be the best at being me. I guarantee you guys will not find a single other person in this world named Bria-maine, let alone a single other person on YouTube with my personality. It just doesn't exist. I'm completely comfortable with being myself, and that's all I want to give. I can't compete with you. So Lily, you're coming. Candace, you'll be here in March. It'll be here so quick, like, before you know it. Like, 2024 went by super fast, so I don't expect anything less of this year. Life's Fun 101 says Bria Hearts. Hey, thanks for joining. Ready to Learn 2007 says, very long flight indeed. If you're tall, I recommend upgrading your seat, legroom. Yeah, so my best friend came to visit me recently for his birthday, and he was talking about that. He was like, oh my god, my knees were all squinched up. I didn't have that concern because I'm a little bit shorter. But yeah, if you're a taller person, keep that in mind, because they're gonna pack you in there. Chad, you said you're a Christian. That's amazing. Let me see. Candace says, don't forget to like the video. I would really appreciate it. I love when people like the video. It does help my channel, but you know, I'm also realistic. I understand that not everybody likes what they engage with. That's just the type of society we live in now. So you'll have like 100 people watching a video and 20 people liking it, and it's just like, you know, it is what it is. I can't force you to like it, but if you do like it, y'all, support your girl. Help a girl out. Chad, you said, I believe that we all have a purpose in life to have free will by serving God Almighty or not. He also gave us free will. I agree with you. What's up, Jason Hurley? Let me see. We got a few people in here today. The Ultimate Learning Experience says, yeah, I believe that some airlines allow your pets to sit next to you if you purchase an individual ticket for them. That's the ideal way, but you know, there's going to be somebody on the plane who's like, oh my God, this dog or this cat is making me sneeze, or it's just going to be like, it just always feels there's going to be some problem. Even when you have children on planes, babies on planes that start crying, people be acting like, oh my God, this baby is crying. I'm like, it's such a stressor. Like, if you could avoid it, I would. But I understand if you're moving out here, you need your babies, you need your fur babies. Like, you're going to have to put in that work. And I've also heard that there's a little money you got to put in, make sure they're vaccinated, have all their papers right. So it's definitely possible. It's just a little more frustrating. Shakul Bailey, what's up? Thanks for joining. You'll be here next week. I'm excited for you. We gotta grab a drink or something. I'm about to be going to Vietnam here soon, but I will be back. I'm not gonna be gone too long. Muka Valley 16 says, what's good? Thanks for joining. Lily says, I blinked and 2024 was over. Literally. Like, I literally remember New Year's 2024. I remember I was in Thailand. I was in the islands in Koh Phangan. I had on my robe and I was like trying to blast off fireworks in the air. I was so lit. The fireworks weren't even lit. I was the one who was lit. So I was like, I was just running around holding fireworks like this and like nothing was lighting. I just had a blast. Like, I'm like, damn, that was a year ago? Like, it's ridiculous. What's up, 305 Dade County? Rasta Nupe says, peace and blessings. Peace to you as well. Chad Ramsey says, yeah, I remember your cat Toffee. Yeah, she left her cat in Atlanta. Yep, with my family. She lives a blessed life. She doesn't worry for anything. In Thailand, she would be locked inside my condo 24/7 because if she went outside, they would eat her and kill her. In America, she lives on my family's property, runs around, and does whatever she wants. So she's doing good. Patrick Bauer says, do you invest in the stock market? I don't really want to talk about that, honestly, because no offense, that's a good question, but I feel like there's a lot of like financial people on YouTube and who want to talk about crypto and finances and all that stuff. I'm not very interested in talking about that. Like, that's not what I want my channel to be faced around. I do have some investments, but I'll just leave it at that. Mukavelli 16 says, how often do you stream? So I try to stream at least once a week. I've been trying to push it to twice a week, but realistically, I'm more of like a long style vlog content creator. So like I create lifestyle vlogs and a lot of my content you'll see over the course of like a week or so. But I'm trying to get more into live streaming every week so that at least every week I can catch up with you guys about the topics that are like on my mind at that point, because a lot of my vlogs are like coming from the last week or something like that. They're not really right in the moment, like today what I'm talking to you about, or today when I'm vlogging. You may not see that till next week, whereas the vlog I put out this week may be from last week. So I'm trying to do more live streams at least once a week, but I'm trying for 2. I'm trying for Wednesdays and Sundays for me, which I think is Tuesdays and Fridays for y'all. Yeah. Let me see. I've been on here 47 minutes. Let's see what we got left. Chad Ramsey says, it is really rough in the United States. Go to places could be a lot more worse. Yeah, I really understand that we're all equal with different ideas. So to wrap this video back up around to what the main topic of it was, you know, breaking your lease the right way. I would say that if you're somebody out there who's interested in living nomad or alternative lifestyles, which can be van life, car life, tiny home life, shed life, whatever, schooly life, whatever, or if you're interested in moving abroad, I think this video would be beneficial to you, because if you're currently in the traditional rental system, it would be the best for you to get out of it if you want to actually actively live these lifestyles. So with that being said, I really just wanted to stress into this video that there are ways you can go about stacking money so that you can change your lifestyle or just start working on the lifestyle that you want. One of them for you, one of the biggest ones may be ending your rental agreement and, you know, living within your means and living like a smaller lifestyle. So I hope this information was helpful to somebody out there. Again, like the video if you actually enjoyed it. If you didn't like it, don't like it, that's awesome too. I'd love to hear you guys' opinions in the comment section. I'm very open to talking in the comment section as well as being realistic. Everyone doesn't have to agree with me, but I'm going to give you my raw opinion and what I think and my experience personally for how I got to where I am. So again, I hope this information helps somebody. Like the video, hit the subscribe button if you want to stick with me on my journey, or if you want to see more of these live streams, hit that notification bell. Hopefully YouTube isn't doing me dirty and actually let you guys know that I'm live. But this was a great stream. I feel like it was really productive. I feel like we talked about some good things, and I can't wait to see y'all in the next stream. So until next time. And for those last 2 chats, I see y'all. Candace Collins says, did you already go to Vietnam? No, I'm going in like 2 days. Lily says, what's your Discord? Check out my channel description or the description of this video. There should be a link and you can join my Discord. Jason A. Durant Sr. says, hey, so do you have an end game, so to speak? My end game is that I'm probably going to die and go to heaven. That's my goal. Candace Collins says, have a good day. Peace, y'all. Can't wait to see y'all in Bangkok and hang out. And to the rest of y'all, have an amazing evening, afternoon, morning, whatever time it is for you. Peace. I will see y'all next